can say is on these tires, so these are just street tires, Nittos, NT 555s. We pulled the wheels up off the ground.
Hello guys, and welcome to a video that is a little different for us, a little different for the channel. Brian and I are here today at Webasto. We're gonna get the proper.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we're gonna get the proper pronunciation of it. But if you saw any of the videos that went around of SEMA or my own video, there was a white Mustang at the Ford booth that went, I guess, viral, right? It was everywhere.
It was fairly viral.
It was fairly viral. It was a white 1819 body, or well, 18 and newer, and it had an electric motor in it, and it had a manual MT82 in it. Well, manual is MT82 is a manual, but you know what I'm saying. So it had an MT82 in it. And it turns out that the people who made the car are here in Michigan, and they're only 30 minutes from my work, and they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to come check it out. So of course I said yes, because the first thing I said was I have 1,000 questions about this car. So Brian and I are here checking it out now, and they said because of the weather we might not be able to drive it, so unfortunately that's a big bummer, but we have 1,000 questions for them, so I think it'll be a pretty entertaining video.
I think so.
You think so too?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. So we're gonna show you guys all about it and try to get some of these strange electric questions answered, and kind of go from there.
Drag strip, since we had the lift, we're just doing drivability runs. We don't have any official times, so eventually we'll probably release some times, but it really is going to be traction dependent. What I can say is on these tires, so these are just street tires, Nittos, NT 555s. We pulled the wheels up off the ground launching, so even non-prepped car, full weight, with that much power. So with the 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, even with that much weight, it's shifting. If the driver is experienced right and they can shift, and that's going to be the biggest thing, because you do have to shift early in the first gear, but you can launch in second gear and still get a decent run. But so I think the times would be respectable with a good driver. 0 to 60, we expect also to be pretty impressive, but again, depending what gear, it's going to take some practice what gear, launching in.
So can you explain again about shifting?
Yes. So the transmission is a 6-speed manual MT82 housing with the internal gears replaced, Caliber spec 3 gears. So driving it, you feel it. It feels very similar to the gasoline engine. So you can feel when it's time to shift, and it pulls all the way to 6,000 and then RPMs, and then you shift into second. And in the clutch engagement, the pedal feel is very much like stock. So while you don't mechanically need the clutch to start an electric engine, the way we've set up here, we program it so you do as a safety mechanism. The driver gets in and you feel just like a regular gasoline engine. So we programmed it where you have to depress the clutch and brake and hit the start button to start the motor as a safety mechanism. it's on, it's on. So then after that, whenever you use the clutch, or whenever you want to shift gears, you have to use the clutch. You could put it in third or fourth gear and just not use the clutch or shift at all, and literally foot off, you won't stall, and you can drive. But if you ever want to shift, but yeah, you feel it just like.
Is it? I mean, when you're driving through, is it still considered RPM too? So when you're driving through, the power band, do you actually feel it as you get higher up, it bogs down like a traditional gas engine does, or is it just kind of knowing,
It keeps
how much
climbing.
acceleration?
Yeah, it keeps climbing.
It's fairly linear throughout.
Yeah, it's linear. Yep. And it's the torque is mapped to the pedal position. So the throttle pedal, the farther down you press the throttle, the more torque you're getting. So pedal all on the floor, you have full 1,000 foot-pounds. If you're in beast mode, if you're in track mode, you have 750 foot-pounds at the floor. So that makes it it's mapped linear. It's very drivable. So you're not going to just barely tap the pedal and have full 1,000. But that's the way it's so streetable.
Interesting.
What made you guys put an MT82 in it? Or a manual?
So two different answers, two great questions. We chose a manual because it hasn't been done before in modern Mustang, as far as with an electric motor. But we wanted to put that driving experience back and the control of the vehicle back into the motor. So being able to shift, the adjustable regen on here, being able to feel the car again rather than just pushing a button and going with either a direct drive or 1 or 2 speed transmission. So we wanted to put that control and that power and that torque back in control. So depending on what gear you're in, you're going to apply that torque differently. So why we chose the MT82, we built the vehicle in CAD 3 times before the base Mustang apart. We did a lot of packaging, and with Ford SEMA data co-op transfer, we had access to all the OE CAD data, meaning we used the MT82 so when we built it made up to the motor, we had access to that CAD. Even a millimeter or a fraction of a millimeter with throwing things off, and we wanted to keep that flywheel centric. And even a little bit with throwing off, you would get a violent vibration. So because we had access to MT82 data, made it an easy choice. But also we compared the Magnum, we compared some others. The Magnum's rated to 7 foot-pounds. Yeah, even though it can handle more on it. But Calimer's Spec 3 is he beats the heck out of his, and it lives. So we needed something that we knew could handle the full 1,000 foot-pounds in, because we had the CAD, the MT82, which just made it easier.
What all functions of the original car? Does everything else still function as if it were?
Yeah, everything. So
gas engine. So aside from powertrain, all the body control modules and stuff are all intact, and those all still.
The vehicle thinks the gasoline engine is still there. So while we removed the engine and the accessories, and we basically replaced the powertrain control module with our own VCU, and we're feeding all the CAN signals and everything that the engine was feeding to the vehicle. We're feeding that back to the vehicle, so it thinks that the gasoline engine's there. So we pulled all that data, we're feeding it back, and everything else works just like we decided.
The cluster, all kind of functions as normal still.
Yeah. So the RPMs read just like normal. The fuel gauge reads state of charge. Everything else reads just like it used to.
What was this your guys' driving force? Or did Ford contact you to work on this? How'd that all get kind of set up?
We proposed the idea, and as part of the SEMA program, Project Vehicle Program, and they certainly were a big part of it and were very supportive. And you see some Ford performance parts on here. So between brakes, the suspension is the track handling kit, the foot struts, the half shafts, the 8.8 rear end. But
Is something that you're gonna take? You want to take more from a one-off, like turn it into something bigger?
At this point, it is just a one-off proof of concept project vehicle to show what could be done, what the future of electric performance could be. That you can still have a manual transmission with an electric vehicle that is still drivable, it's still fun, and still exciting. Just because it's electric doesn't mean you lose all the driving experience of a muscle car. And that we also wanted to show our capabilities too between the heating system in here. So we manufacture for electric vehicles an interior heating system that also heats the batteries, conditions the batteries, and the cabin at the same time. And we manufacture batteries and also thermal management. So that was our way of, and charging stations too. So that was our way of saying it. We do all these things. Here's that package in a Mustang.
How does like anything that was like vacuum dependent? You had to put like a vacuum pump on it.
We did. We put a vacuum
And
pump on
that's
it.
just all electrical.
Yeah. So I can turn that on. And it's you hear it now because there's no exhaust. Every time it kicks on, you can hear it. But that's what we did. So right now it's just an accessory mode. I'll turn on the just do it where
Sounds like when an ice tank starts
Yeah.
circulating.
So what you're hearing now is the fan's cooling system and the cooling pump.
So this.
We have, so this is the front half of battery pack. From this down is 1/3 of battery cells, so 2,300 battery cells. And the pack, and this above is the power distribution box. Basically fuses contactors off the power distribution. We have, so the battery is liquid cooled. The inverters are liquid cooled. The motor is liquid cooled. All the cooling loops are 50 water glycol. And so the motor inverters are on one loop, battery is on one loop, and the cabin heater is on one loop. Because there's no waste heat from the engine anymore, so we have a dedicated cabin.
And there's still AC on it.
Still AC, electric AC, so we place that electric AC.
It's kind of wild that it's not completely silent.
Right.
You're used to when it comes to electric.
And when it's driving, it has a spaceship. It has that little ball to it. It's different, but it's not bad.
We did the part and stuff. You guys.
SCT composites, so composites, that's really nice. So we designed the front end, we did this in CAD, and we designed this in-house, and then SCT composites made the mold and laid it up for us, as well as the satellite fusion as well. They will sell, they'll bring it to market, they're going to sell the kit.
Really?
Yeah. And we went through the same exercise, we looked at everything on the market, and we couldn't find one that, we didn't want the double stack,
EV2 one.
yeah, and so we designed this one.
How long did this project take? Or how long have you been working on it?
Actually, it would hurt. It would create more drag if we did put a rear wing, and that's one reason we didn't on here. So yeah, that will definitely help us with downforce.
What does the whole car weigh?
We weighed it before we put a lot of the trim back on, and it was about 4,400 pounds. So we're somewhere between 4,400 and 4,600.
It's like a Hellcat.
Yeah. It's about average for late model these days. You know, it's not like ridiculous.
Body trim.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, because it actually reads. Yeah, go ahead. It actually reads the state of charge as it was fuel.
That's actually really funny. So is this whole display custom? You guys designed that?
We bought an off-the-shelf display. It's an Android tablet that, if we go back to the home screen, we built the app that reads all the powertrain vitals. So right now, this part is part of the off-the-shelf portion.
That was probably my fault because I touched it.
No, it's trying to put the radio on. Is what it's trying to do. Okay, so it'll take a second. And so this is the part of what. So we in-house we design the user interface, the way it looks and feels, and then we had a partner that coded it for us. So right now, there's a dedicated CAN loop from the VCU to this that's feeding it battery voltage, battery temp, motor temp. It's telling us that it's on, and then we can go into our password protected setting and we see what modes. Right now we're in valet mode. We can go to sport mode, track mode, beast mode, and then we have our regen level. We can put it more aggressive, less aggressive, and then as you're driving, if you have this screen up, it'll read real-time estimated torque and power versus regen.
So it's on right now.
It's on. Yeah. And so right now, if we wanted to, we can just put it in first and hit the throttle and go forward, backwards if it was in reverse, or we can use the clutch and drive it just like manual transmission. So the backup camera should come on.
What you would use for like if you just have an electric car, or like what kind of plug-in stuff?
Yep, so you can use a level 1 or level 2. So like the cord set that's over there is a level 1. The level 2 AC is, so if we take a look at the port right here, it's a level 2 AC port, so J1772 port, plug-in charging station, 240 volt basically.
Okay.
We'll charge it.
So the one time Brian is right. It is Webasto.
Webasto.
So we're really impressed, and we want to say thank you again to Josh and the company letting us come and check the car out. Unfortunately, we weren't able to drive it, but I understand it's 30 degrees in Michigan, and it's a test vehicle. Yeah, the roads are salty, and it's just kind of crappy. So they said in the future maybe we'll be able to come back and check it out a little. I mean, we checked it out pretty in detail, but by that I mean,
everything.
we got a lot of questions and stuff answered. So if you guys have any more things that we missed, please, like I always say, leave a comment, let us know, message us. I haven't asked in a while, but please like and subscribe this video. I'm sorry, I have to be a YouTuber a tiny bit. Try to get some growth. I'd like to try to get 15,000 subscribers by the time Texas 2K is, which is just under 3 months. So help me get there, guys.
We haven't touched your car yet.
Update on Wiley. We have not touched my car yet. So we got some parts and things that we worked out on PRI. So I'll do a little review aside from this video to kind of let you guys know what's going on with that. But I wanted to keep these things separate. But again, thank you. Really enjoyed it. And if this is what the future is going to look like, I'm on board. So thanks for checking the video, guys.